And we're back again after this short break, ladies and gentlemen, for the second game of tonight. Once again, of course, and still, we have Harmless Scarecrow on my side. Welcome back.
Hey, welcome back. I'm very excited. We had a banger first game. Like, holy shit, Patinex versus Reapers. Just an amazing matchup. Just,
Yes, absolutely. I'm not gonna lie, I expected Reapers to be the favorite one in this matchup, right? Having had a
yeah,
very strong start in that season, but Pertinax definitely pulled the rug under my thoughts, and they just played this beautifully. Amazing game on their end. Um, I mean, that was a game. Beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah, and we can see here they are now 1-0. And next match we're gonna see very soon is one right under that matchup. We have AOMA Esports going up against Once Upon a Team. This should also be a very interesting match. Once Upon a Team coming into this matchup is kind of I forgot the name of that guy.
They're
Do you
the
know that Greek story about the giant? Oh, David, that's his name. That's the one I
Davids.
was looking
Davids,
for.
yeah. David and Goliath.
Exactly.
They're David. But
The-
who won? Goliath or David?
Well, if we can believe the Greeks, David should be coming out of this with a win, but we will see that in I'd say about half an hour once the game is over. But for now, we have the champ select going on, and already right off the bat, we're seeing a very familiar ban, that Karma ban. Just everybody doesn't want to play against Karma. What the hell?
She's just so strong right now. Like, it's just a useful support to have that's so flexible, like top and mid lane. Just so much damage, so much sustain for herself, so good shielding, movement. The champion just gives you everything an enchanter should give you.
Mm,
So, oh, there's the Maokai ban. So no Maokai this time. So we saw last game is a threat. It's a monster on the rift.
yes, absolutely. I mean, he just catches you and stays sticking onto you, and we saw last game also such a damage threat. I mean, Heroes for Pertinax did a really good job on this, but this time around, no tree who can move the Summoner's Rift.
There's the Nami and Shen ban. Nami actually a huge ban. Ban her. You can't really play. You don't really want to play Lucian. You ban her, and she's so versatile, so good with other early aggressive ADCs. So
Mhm.
you just deny a very good fit. At the Shen, you just deny global assistance. That's just always scary to play against.
Yes, and also the Shen ban, which is most probably a target ban against the top laner of Once Upon a Team, Cutlet, who's been playing some Shen here and there. And we're ending off with the Olaf ban. Olaf also really strong and very popular at the moment.
Really, really strong. Just runs you down, reduces your armor, and there's again the Wukong first pick
Yes, I
for
mean,
Iowa.
I tolerated it last game, but guys, please.
No. He's gonna be picked every single game now.
I mean, I feel like there's so many good champions right now that you can't possibly ban them all. Because here we also have Caitlyn getting picked for Once Upon a Team. Caitlyn has been also very strong in the last few weeks on the bot lane.
Yeah, exactly. Caitlyn is just right now just such a dominant laner. It has so good synergy with so many poke mages, but also with very heavy engage. That's the very interesting part for her.
Hmm.
She's so versatile and has such a versatile roster of supports you can play her with. But there's also the Vi.
Yes,
which
we
I
are.
I think actually Vi is a really good counter pick against Wukong, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I mean, Vi does
Just
have the potential to 1v1 him pretty well, has pretty good clear, and can answer those engages rather well. And that does finish up the Piltover Enforcer line on the sides of Once Upon a Team, while Aoma does pick Draven on the bot lane to go against that Caitlyn. Draven who has that very strong damage already, and we are going to finish up with Jax on the top lane.
Jax. Yeah. So far, AOMA, 3 really, really dominant laners or junglers. So, good lineup. Oh, there's gonna be an on for Once Upon a Team, or is it not gonna be an on for Once Upon a Team?
This could be
It
great here.
would
Cutlight plays
fit
a lot of on.
perfectly. It would fit perfectly in what they have so far.
Mhm.
And there's the on, and I'm already sold as someone who really,
Already sold.
I just love seeing on, just the crazy roams, the crazy engages with his ulti. It's just nice to see. And they have Vi. They have such a good lockdown so far, but so far they're missing a duelist that might have to stop Jax on the side lane.
It's definitely because that Jax is really dangerous right now. And overall, AOMA for now going for a very aggressive lineup. No real front line yet. So you have to be careful because playing against the Vi, that can be really dangerous. I mean, Vi has a very, very easy time picking one enemy out. So I think they would benefit from some peel now in that second picking phase.
Once Upon a Team sheds your thought they insta banned Nautilus. Just really good to have a Nautilus with a Draven. Can just really peel for him, engage for him, just set up his engage. And Ioma did the same, banning Lux Caitlyn right now. I think it's like the best combo you can have for Caitlyn. So both bans really good, followed by a Renata Glass for Once Upon a Team that just scared to be ulted and just start hitting each other, or more like a Draven that engages, doesn't die because he just revives and can just continue throwing his axes.
And would be a good answer against that like Vi lockdown on one person. I mean, Vi comes in, Renata just ults, boom. Situation is diffused, so that works really well. And Once Upon a Team, I was going to say, are really well into that champ select now because they can just pick a support that fares well against the Draven, is going to be able to help that Caitlyn well, and they keep that last pick on the mid lane, so they're not threatened by a mid laner. That's why they didn't ban Annie now in the second banning phase. Once Upon a Team really, really doing well in this champ select.
Yeah, they have right now. They just have a huge wombo combo. The only thing they're lacking right now is damage, consistent damage. So we have to see what Spinto is gonna play on that mid lane. There's a Rakan pick again. I've seen it last game with Zaya Rakan. Now we have Draven Rakan. That's also a cute couple, I'm gonna lie.
That's one hot bot lane. Yeah, now it's a tough choice. Yeah, the picking Ryze, I was going to say, because I think Spinto would have picked that Ryze, plays a lot of Ryze himself, would have fit in here. So AOMA is picking it themselves here.
Yeah, Ryze also just a huge. It's so strong right now. Ryze was in a grave and just pulled him out, reviving World of Ages, and there was Embrace and the Syndra to answer the Ryze.
Answer that. I was going to say, you could say that Ryze has risen from his grave.
Yeah, he has risen. Yeah, he has risen. Ryze has risen.
Okay. So yeah, now answering with that Syndra.
That's an interesting draft from both teams. Once Upon a Team has a really wombo combo lockdown.
Yeah.
Like the On ulti, the Vi ulti, Brom, but Ioma has so much damage. The Jax, the Wukong, the Ryze, and the Draven, they're just all dealing so much damage. And Once Upon a Team has just two main damage dealers with Syndra and Caitlyn.
Do you think that Once Upon a Team has the easier team comp to play here? They have a very easy goal here. They have the front line. That front line just needs to be what it needs to be, while that Caitlyn snipes them, and then you always have that Vi and Syndra to pick someone out. While AOMA is going to be having a rougher time. They need to find that kind of turnaround to bypass those tanks, which is never an easy task, especially against something like Ornn and Braum, which are tanks that just stick to their allies, especially Braum, right?
Yeah.
So definitely interesting take there.
Yeah. Once Upon a Team's draft is really like the easier draft to play. But when mid lane and bot lane don't get ahead or don't reach their items, don't get their items, they're just lacking damage. But the draft overall is easier. Ioma has the problem, they're all really short range. They don't have like a really long range damage dealer. Even Rice is really short range for mage. So Syndra and Caitlyn are gonna free hit them and poke them a lot. So we'll have to see. My opinion, the draft I would prefer to play is Once Upon a Team's draft. It's the easier one, it's the more consistent one, but it just depends on how strong bot lane and mid lane will be.
It's definitely,
Yes,
they need to get them ahead early on, which is very doable with Vi. Vi has rather solid ganks early game, but so does a Wukong, and we're gonna see, I think there's a lot of stuff resting on both junglers' shoulders for this early game, and we'll see how they manage that in just a second, because we are in-game right now, ladies and gentlemen. AOMA Esports going up against Once Upon a Team. Nice. Um, yeah, I don't know. Nice what? Good luck, have fun, I want to say, actually.
good luck, have fun. Yeah, like it's actually really interesting. Also, very excited to see how that mid lane matchup will go, because the new the new items for Rise are really strong. So I think mid lane will be uh, like the focus lane for both junglers and maybe support and top laners, because I think mid lane is going to be such a core area for this game, because uh, On will just he will normally lose lane against Jax. Like there's no way On will okay. She got damaged, didn't get cancelled. There's like nothing On can really do against Jax. Jax does so much damage. He's so mobile, and On he'll just have to buy armor and armor, but it's not going to be enough because Jax deals AP and AD damage. So I think On will just shove, roam mid lane, try to ult the Rise, and just get those catches with the Braum. So I think that's the game plan for Once Upon a Team.
Yes, so let's see if they pull it off. I think Edward is looking for some early aggression there. They can do that. I mean, with Draven, they do have that already, like, early woof to get something in here.
Yeah. They have Braum, and if Caitlyn gets a good stun off, it's going to be so much free damage for Once Upon a Team to Draven and Rakan. So just have to see how the lanes will play out. Because I think Draven is going to be having a little rough time in lane, because he's so short ranged. And
Yeah.
if he comes in range to auto attack the Caitlyn, like, oh, there's an
With
engage
that
from
level
Rakan.
2 spec, they can get a lot of damage already on Turtle, who is forced to flash. That's a good start. I think that's the thing, because like right at the start, especially with that level 2 here, like that Draven Rakan bot lane can do some stuff, and they need to pull those early favors maybe in order to maybe get a good gank from Gabush.
They just really have to play very aggressive, look for that engage, and they just immediately executed it. Like the Rakan hits level 2, sees the Bronze still level 1, bam, jumps onto him, gets a free flash. And Draven got a lot of damage onto him. And Caitlyn, she tried to poke. Oh,
Oh, here we have a little catch maybe onto Spinto. We do flash behind
oh
him.
not.
And
Oh,
2 flashes for first blood, which sets Lotus in a good position on that mid lane.
And that's a double flash from Ioma, though, for the first blood. Oh, that was really good. I actually thought the Syndra would survive. I didn't think the Rise would commit with the flash, but GG first blood for Ioma and for Lotus on Rise. Yep. So far, not really much going on. Top lane had some little trades. just that. Who do you personally think has the better or easier draft to execute?
I do agree that it's probably what, as you said during the champ select, just mainly because AOMA needs to find the good engages, which are going to be harder to find against Swad's comp. Because if they don't get into it, as you said, because they have that little range, they're going to have a rough time even getting some damage to what, while especially something like a Caitlyn and actually Syndra also to a certain extent can poke them from afar, staying like in the cushy warm area behind Toto and Cutlite. So
Yeah, exactly. That's what I also said. Ioma just really has to deny both of those
nice.
champions, and it's gonna be. It should be good for them. Like that's their game plan.
Yeah. And like we just saw now, for example, Asuka, even if they find pitches on him, can easily dodge an engage from like Rakan with Zone E, and they also have these champions like Braum is really good to deny an engage as well. I mean, he's always sticking on his carry, and if they do find pitches, he can just Glacial Fissure and get his carries out of the way. Now we have the knockup that does find way, and now see, he just shields it. And okay, can't do anything else now.
Exactly. That's why they really just went for that level 2 engage when Braum was the level 1, because now they know when they engage, the Braum will just shield and give the carry resistance.
Ooh, very
Oh,
nice
but
stun
that's
here
the
on the mid lane
engage.
as Neko comes in. A lot of damage
Oh,
falling
but
onto
Wukong.
Lotus now, which is gonna die. Flash is not up, used before. Now Spinto has to be careful. However, has level 6, unleashes all of his powers to get Burst is getting very low. Ooh, very nice rotation from Edward, and now it's a second kill probably going to Oma.
Oh,
Goes to the support, but really well played from Edward there. Nice rotation.
such a good rotation from Rakan. Such a good rotation, but also such a good timer for Vi to just be there. Just both junglers just had a really good timer, and then just the support said, "Hello, I'm here. I'm trying to help," and they got the kill onto Syndra. Fortunately for Rakan, but that doesn't matter. They just deny Syndra a wave.
And
Force.
Oma is doing this really well right now because it's been mentioned what needs to get the damage onto Splinter. They need to get some damage onto Asuka before they can really do their thing. And especially Gabersh is putting a lot of pressure on them to not allow this. I mean, they probably knew that Neko was going to gank mid soon because, well, Flash on Lotus was off. So he just decided to stay in that region in order to counter gank immediately. And that works really well for them now.
Yeah, so they're just executing their game plan perfectly. They kill mid lane and they took Drake. First Drake, Infernal, such a valuable Drake for their composition, their heavy damage composition. So, you see Vi stealing a little blue buff from Wukong.
Yes, taking the resources where he can. That's definitely very important here, as AOMA is slightly ahead in terms of gold with the 3 kills. They have that Drake, and overall, they have pretty good CS, especially on the top lane.
Yeah,
So.
that is just gonna free farm. Like the On will never have an answer to like kill him solo. He needs the Vi, he needs the Syndra with him. Oh, there's the
We
engage
see
on
the
Twin Flame.
engage here. Beowulf is level 6, so we have to be careful, but we are able to jump back close to the turret on time.
Yeah, but that's the Braum shield. That's the Braum shield. Oh, there's the engage from
Another
Vi.
mid lane gank. Here we jump and load onto Lotus, unleash power, and he's not gonna survive that. 2 ultis, 2 of those like target point and click definitely ultimates on his face. No, nobody's gonna survive that.
No, not even a Rise. Like, now, it's just a back and forth. Like, Ioma really tries to deny the Syndra, and Once Upon a Team really has to open up the Syndra, so they're just trying and trying and trying. And I think the Vi will just come mid every time her ulti's up, because Rise tends to shove the wave really
Mm.
quickly, so he's always in a little dangerous position. And if I can just hop over wall and be unseen and just ults, and now the Syndra has lost chap, and she's just gonna deal so much damage,
Yeah.
even though the Royce has his magic resistance. But it's
And,
just a threat.
and what also really works well into Watt's hands here is that both Vi and Syndra's ultimate, they're probably gonna always be up then, more or less at the same time. They can coordinate that, and that's just such a big bomb to let out on someone that they're surely not gonna survive that.
Exactly. That's Wukong during our little talk took Heralds. Ioma took first Heralds. I think last game the Herald was very important for mid lane. I think this game, I think the gold should go to the Draven, just to ease him up, just give him more gold, because I think he's usually not gonna get a kill in lane with the Braum, so he just gets a little more of that gold, just a little bit of that lead. Both of the ADCs have a BF sword, so they might go for the new Infinity Edge. It's viable again to buy first item, but we'll have to see. And there's Vi again on looking for the Rise.
I really like that SK is always using his ulti on Draven whenever the support is away for a bit. Like instantly, boom, free poke for me.
Yeah, it's just a free little poke onto the Draven. Jack is just taking plates, just on those he can. Oh, there's the engage
yeah,
from
we have the
Rakan.
engage. Chum does find Trash, and we get the kill on Berwiz, and now Toto has to flee. Might be able to survive. Yes, he does.
Oh, they're not risking it. They're not risking it. Very unfortunate ulti from Braum. He missed Rakan just by a millimeter. GG. That's. I would love to see how much. Oh, that's the solo dive from Rakan. Wait, okay. Just the solo dive onto the Braum. Love to see it.
It's gonna be a full damage Rakan one day.
AP Rakan incoming this game. If not now, never.
Ooh. Yeah, and that's yeah. Once Braum is away for a few seconds, and if he comes back just a bit too late, it's done for his AD carry. And we also had just a very, very close situation on top lane here.
Yeah, top lane just struggling a little bit against the new, very, very strong Jax. Just has a little bit of a CS lead. Also scales so good. Oh, but that's the engage.
Oh, we catch Gabushi, who is forced to use his own Cyclone to survive, but gets a lot of damage out on Neko, who does a season desist on him. But that is not enough. Neko does fall to the hands of Gabush, who is now, along with his support, chasing the enemy support, and they get a double kill on the Wukong here.
They're just playing so aggressive now. They just know they have so much damage. The Wukong has his Divine Sandra, so they just know if they engage, they have the lead, they're just gonna win. That trades just very well played from AOMA. There's the voice
nice
flash at the top.
They're just picking up the kill.
Bolo. It's the solo bolo for Rice.
And here we have the Herald on the bot lane, as you predicted.
Yeah, because it's just a more valuable place to drop to the Draven. Now I think the Draven is just slowly unleashing, just slowly becoming stronger and stronger. And is the Wukong looking for Drake maybe? Second Drake for AOMA.
He's on top lane. Mark looking for the kill, putting a lot of damage very quickly on Cutlight. Is not going to wager it against the tower, however. And we do get that second Drake for AOMA, who are playing this really well right now. They are using their early aggression very well, stepping up the pace as they go.
Yeah, they're just controlling the game right now. Every single lane just is dominating. It's just a tragedy for Once Upon a Team, but we'll have to wait for a full-on 5v5, 4v5 team fight with the on ulti, and they might be looking.
Yes, going on to Mark with the CC. That does work. Season Desist does the job, and now Billy's all alone here. Is going to try and kite him to death, and does that really well as Cutler gets a lot of damage. And now Neko finds purchase on him. Yeah, let's not wager that.
That's just the on catch. That's what Once Upon a Team needs just a good on ulti engage follow up by just a Vi ulti, a Braum ulti. So now they just have to play it really slowly, get back a little bit of tempo back in the game, and then just show that they just can win those team fights with their wombo combo champions.
Yes, and they're doing that really well indeed. Very careful, not trying to look for problems where there is no problems to find.
Yeah. It's AOMA just showing them problems right now because they're just forcing a lot because they know right now they're really strong and they're really strong in those catch situations, but they might be a little weaker in a full-on 5v5. Oh, but
Ooh, yes,
that's
we
the
go for the
engage of
kill
the
on the mid
Rise.
lane. Q does it, but we get the root under the turn. A lot of damage falling onto Nico. Barely survives, and meantime on the top lane, it's Spinter who's getting jumped by 3 people of AOMA. Another kill going to Buis.
And the Rise just 5 HP. The Rise and the Vi just 5 HP. Very unfortunate for both teams. Just see Ioma just forcing those dives, just those very aggressive plays right now. Just the Jax looking for the
Oof.
Caitlyn, no flash. Flashes on top lane both earlier traded. So
Yes, and luckily the E is enough to get out of the range of the stun there.
yeah, that's the Infinity Edge for Caitlyn, just the blind Infinity Edge. That's something that's really nice to see again. Just the first item Infinity Edge.
Yes, meanwhile, Buis decided to veer off, and with all the money he cashed in lately with those few kills, decided to go for the shield bow right off the bat.
Yeah, just also see such a strong item. So much sustain. The shield is just a good buy this game. Because he will get Vi ulted, he will get point and clicked. So he just has to sustain and tank a little bit longer to just throw this axis. And there's again Herald for AOMA, the jungle control.
We have the Hag Splash into season. This is onto Buis. Just like you said, he is gonna get point and click, but he is able to flash out of this situation, especially with the cleanse that comes in real handy now.
Yeah, really good reaction from the Draven. Just uses summoners, almost didn't get any damage. It's more than okay. They're dropping Herald in mid lane, they're just forcing those that shove.
Yes.
They just really want to open up mid lane a little bit more so they can roam a bit openly around the map.
Now getting a second charge, hopefully, on that second tier turret. But a lot of damage falling onto Buis as Unleash Power is used on him. Gavage comes in with the Cyclone on 4 people. Takes a lot of damage from the turret, but is able to deal as much damage back. Eska, however, gets the kill on him. But nice Cyclone there.
Yeah, but also really, really good from Caitlyn, just trying to hit him, trying to get that shot on from Wukong.
Another turret root on Cutlight. What has to be careful, they're all really low, as is the turret, and they look for the engage on sides. A nice knock up here from Advent. We might get a kill. No, Toto makes it out of the way with a pixel of HP.
They also low, the turret is just 5 HP. Drake spawning in 30 seconds. That was a very, very interesting dive from the Wukong. Just, they all grouped, they just... It was literally just limit testing from the Wukong, and it was...
I was actually going to say the same. He just couldn't hold himself back from hitting that juicy ulti.
It was just too perfect. 5-stack ulti, or 5-stack ulti onto them. Just too perfect to not take it.
And it really almost worked as well. I mean, Once Upon a Team was really low there. I mean, it was a close situation, and he is back just in time for that Drake. And they're gonna get that soul point because nobody of what is like anywhere near the Drake to deny it.
Yeah, they're just gonna take it, and that's gonna be really, really scary. Champ Tank Soul, just such a... It's so good off with that composition. They have so many fighters. It's so valuable to have that little extra damage when you're low, when you get the soul. And that's the... Oh, never mind. I thought the Jax got the blue buff.
Ooh, you have the catch here onto Mark, who is not gonna survive long. Nice catch from Once Upon a Team.
Yeah. And really, really, a really cocky play from the Jax, just trying to steal that blue buff from the Vi who has smite, but then opening up mid lane, they get the second 2-tier turret, so it's not the biggest loss for them. They might get even to tier 2 on bot lane, trading it for first
Yes.
turret on top lane.
Zinon and that Cutlet is all alone in that bot lane because the rest is top side and taking that kill. However, once upon a team do get the turret, and with that also some objective bounty, which is gonna come in handy because they are 6k gold behind.
I was just about to mention it. They're 6, almost 7k gold behind. It's really rough. They're really gonna have to get those bounties from the turrets, from the objectives. It's such an easy way to get back momentum in the game, but to get them, that's the difficult part. Because in that team, they
Definitely.
don't really have someone who will actively try to get the turrets alone. Like they don't have a Jax. They have
Yep.
a On. Like the On's gonna be with the team. The Jax gonna side lane, and sometimes just say hello and try to burst someone down. Mainly he will side lane. So those objectives, those objective bounties for the turrets will probably not be as important, but more the Baron itself or the Drake himself, which also gives bonus gold when you're behind.
And talking about Baron, Baron is up now, and both teams have sussed that out and are building their vision around. They are both more or less in that region. And that's probably the objective AOMA is looking for right now, as they are kind of probing the enemy jungle, clearing vision, and surely trying to find an engage somewhere, small catch.
Yeah, just very carefully removing wards over this hidden brom bush. Just a little
Yes.
poke.
But
We
has to be
have
careful
Royce.
to not jump into a situation that could be problematic. I mean, this three people combo of Gabush, Boobies, and Advert is deadly. If someone jumps in there, they are most probably dead. Unless there is the rest of Once Upon a Team to have their back here.
Plus, they didn't really know where the Royce was because he was hidden in jungle. Oh, but it's the
And
engage
there we
from
go, as
okay.
Gabush gets caught, that's very dangerous. Yes, they get the kill, that's dangerous for Oma. They cannot keep on doing that. Drake, as Pinto and Eska are taking on Lotus, who's very low now. And now it does look really good for what, as they're closing in onto Bevis, who's now mid-life, trying to kite his way away. Does it really well.
Oop. Oh, the spinning axes.
Yes, almost get Neko here. And what? Keep pushing onto them.
That was just such a good pick onto the Wukong. That was just such a good pick. But that's the Royce round warp looking for a flank. Oh,
Just left it
are
at
they
the
still
last
going
moment.
for
Nice
it?
bait. And now the situation has changed. It's AOMA who's pushing back against what with full life Rise. Edward goes in the middle of
Oh,
it,
the
might
Vice coming.
die for it, but they might get some kills here. Cutlight is gonna die. However, the stun onto Mac is very dangerous for him as he dies. Lotus is gonna get some damage into it, and Lewis might be killed. No! Lotus finishes Naker off. They do get the card down in the end on Bewis. That's really good for what. Eska has to be careful though, very low. Gets the kill onto, who was that? Luchis as well. Triple kill for him. Is going to cost his life, however. And now it's Kabush who's back again. Wow, what a fight. That took so long.
That was a bloodbath. That was such a bloodbath. It started just with the pick onto Wukong, and then just both teams escalated and just fight it out till death. It was just the leak of Draven, also the access from Draven, and the Royce positioning. Just wow, that was just a bloodbath. Like that was a very perfect fight, very enjoyable. That was crazy.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
I mean, AOMA and what definitely living up to the hype of last game are giving us banger matchup now too. And actually, I'm really interested to see the gold difference between each player, if production can give us that at some point. Because Asuka has cashed in some big money right now, yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Almost holding up to berries, but now we might have a small engage. They should not go into it because it's 4 against 2. The reservoir is just there as well too. Drake is spawning now, and that's might be sold for AOMA, but Neko is getting caught. Oh no, that's a really bad start for them. Skavesh gets the kill, but now Mark in the middle of them might die, gets really low, survives barely, and now Cutlight has to believe in his life. He's gonna fall down, and it's AOMA pushing against what? That should be a one fight for them. They get the soul from that.
So, and Baron, they might also just take Soul and immediately rotate to the Baron. Like, AOMA right now, they're just playing those fights perfectly. They see the on ulti, they kite back, they wait for it to miss, and then they just instantly re-enter with the Jax who's coming from the bot river. Just taking those fights and just playing them how they should be played, trying not to get caught by the on ulti, by the Braum engage. They're just playing really well. They're just playing really, really well right now.
Yes, and now Once Upon a Team is in a rough situation. Well, before there was quite a bit of hope. They had fighting. They are now 9k gold behind and fighting against a 4 Drake Soul, which is really rough, but I don't think it's over quite yet. I mean, they showed that even though they were behind before, when they find the right catch and the right way to twist things in their way, it can work out. They can get a pick or two, and then they can fight against the AOMA. So hope is not lost, and we might have one such pick.
They're looking for the Jax. Oh wait, but he still has a stopwatch. You have to remember that.
Yeah, and Unleash Power is blocked from it. He might take someone to the grave with him. No, nice done. In the meantime, the rest of AOMA is going through the reservoir, which with only 2 people to defend the base. That's a double kill going to Buis.
AOMA right now just trading their Jax for Inhib.
I mean, definitely a worth trade.
Definitely worth trade. Jax for base, it's always a worth trade, trading your top laner.
Yeah, ooh, very nice one combo here from Watt, but it does not work. Edward finds the way to spin to, he gets a lot of damage.
This is some great shields.
And the first Nexus turret falling, as we now also have Lotus who joined up for the push. Watt trying to do a last stand, get some damage on Gabush, but Stopwatch is there to save his life. Now we have a TP coming in from Mac, and that should be game. Watt has to do the last stand here. Are they going to be able to do it? They have a lot of damage falling onto Mac. And we try to find purchase on the enemy AD carry, gets a lot of damage in his face, but it's now Neko who's going to fall first of them. We try to get the kill, we just can't get it. Though is kiting really well here.
It's just the League of Draven right now.
Flash in to get the kill on the enemy AD carry. Lotus has to be careful, is going to fall to the hands of Eska, but he is finally going to fall as well. And now AOMA can just finish, get the last kill onto Splinter, and that's game, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow. What a game. What a game from AOMA. Just playing the more difficult team composition, playing the more damage-wise composition, and then just showing that it was the way, just going for a hard damage composition, not a more traditional double tank, double carry position.
As it worked really well in the end, and I mean they just played it perfectly, right? They went easy at the start, tried to find the aggression way they could, and slowly building up a lead, were able to wedge themselves a win here. Really, really well played from AOMA. Now, we've had a strong start today. 2 amazing matches up to now, but I think the next one should be the icing on the cake. Because if we take a look at the schedule for now, you can see that the next game is none other than Rift's Loves against Dynasty. And in this first half, that's the last shot one of those like upper bracket teams gets to maybe wound the giant that is Rift's Loves, unbeaten up to now. And I know there was already some banter on Twitter. Both teams are definitely set on getting that win, and I think this is going to be a banger matchup.
Yeah, I was really excited to see Rift against Dynasty, just 2 giants clashing each other. Just very excited.
So yeah, we will be seeing that match in about 17 minutes, so we'll be hopping into a short 12 to 15 minute break, and we'll see you after that for this matchup, so definitely stay tuned for that. See you soon.